Okay, so remember the first time we tried to do a podcast?
Yeah.
Literally, y'all, we pretty much got into our first, it wasn't really an argument, but I was spicy.
You were on your period.
I was on my period. Ryan got stoned in the middle of it. He was giving me one word answers. And I was like, oh, this is going to be super interesting. People are going to love this.
Yeah, I'm typically kind of a quiet person anyways. And then I smoked some weed. No, I drank one of those high vibes. Weed. Yeah, I got high on edibles.
Yeah. So today I have a feeling we're going to try this again. Mm-hmm. You know, we're going to do better.
I think the podcast in the house thing where we live was a problem because I've just settled into just like home mode. Forgot that we were even doing an interview at one point. It just went for like 3 hours. You know what I mean? Like you should.
We were mad at each other.
You shouldn't do interviews on your own couch.
Oh, why? You should be able to do interviews on your own couch.
Okay, I shouldn't do interviews on my own couch.
Okay, well, good thing I got you out of the house and into a studio. I had to rent an entire studio just to get this rock star in here.
Set the bar.
Just kidding. I actually had to do it for myself because I can't do my own shit from my house. It's hard.
It is hard.
You got to set yourself up for success.
Yeah, and I'm proud of you. You've been wanting to do this for a long time.
Thank you.
Here you are.
Finally.
Look at you.
I know. I was wondering how you thought about that. Like finally doing it after you've heard me talk about it for the entirety of our relationship.
Yeah. It's hard to start. It's harder to restart.
Yeah. It's harder to restart. What do you mean? Just in life?
Well, yeah. I mean, like I think when you're going into a fresh experience, you have really nothing holding you back. You're just open to whatever. It's like your first relationship. You just go headlong into it. And then you get heartbroken or you hit failure. And then that influences your next decisions.
Yeah. Because you remember that pain.
Yeah.
And I do. Yeah. For me, when it comes to podcasting, I have that True Sex and Wild Love podcast. So I know what it takes. And I didn't know if I had what it took anymore. You know?
Had a co-host. Can I do it on my own?
Right.
You can, but that whatever it was, I'm not going to label it as failure, but like that ended. So that experience is now going to like, influence your next experience.
Right. Which brings me to our first topic, which Ryan is in a band called Highly Suspect. You've been in this band for like 20 plus years at this point.
My life.
Which half your life, which is so rare. And we often talk about how rare that is because the longer it goes on, the even more rare it is. Mm-hmm. And I do want to talk about the band and how it started and all the inner workings of that. But that is everywhere on the internet. People love to hear about that. And you've done a million episodes on that. I really wanted to talk about really what I fell in love with you the most was your mind and your mindset around business and therapy and dating and relationships and starting and restarting. But before we get into that, I do want to talk about Highly Suspect. Give us a little, just take us back to when you started on this crazy adventure half of your life ago.
God. 20 years ago, I was a different person. I'll tell you that much. You don't realize how much you change in a year, let alone 20 of them. So, yeah, as a 20-year-old single young man living on Cape Cod, I moved in with my friends and my brother, and we just played music in the basement and got drunk and chased as many girls as we could. And that was, when you're in your 20s, what's that Madman line? Like everyone looks like a walking brazier.
Oh my God, yeah.
That's the only thing on your mind. So that was, wouldn't it be cool if we could like get free drinks and like hang out with chicks all the time and play music, that's it. It's literally that simple. And then we did that for a while and had a lot of fun playing cover shows. We played in restaurants. We played in tiny little bars. Restaurants would move tables and chairs out of the way, and we would play in a corner of a restaurant while people are eating. And then we moved to New York, and we got a management company and a record deal, and just next thing you know, it's like we're playing at the Grammys, and going on tour around the world, and it felt like it happened overnight, you know. So it's all kind of a blur.
Yeah.
I was really drunk most of the time.
Well, you said it's like having a jetpack, because
Yeah.
when you were talking about like starting and restarting, I mean,
Yeah.
you've been in a band for 20 years. You've had to start and restart a billion different times. Even since we've been together, I've seen that happen. So you go to the Grammys, you have this jetpack. It's like rock star living.
All eyes on you. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a lot to deal with. And I think that sort of success and popularity, it puts all the little issues you have on steroids. And if you don't have your shit together, which I didn't, then it rocks your world. And, you know, for a while, while it was still really, really looking good, you know, I just remember kind of like decaying inside. I felt like I lost track of who I was. My people pleasing came out, and was just trying to please the executives that we were working with. You know, hey, they want us to work with this fashion designer, and this fashion designer has an idea of what they want us to wear. And I want to please that fashion designer. I want everyone around me to be happy, because I'm so unhappy if I can make them happy, you know? So next, you know, I'm looking back at pictures just the other day. I'm looking back at pictures. I'm like, what the fuck am I wearing? You know what I mean? Like, why did I let this person put this on me?
There's some pictures where you definitely look like you're in a boy band.
Yeah. And we kind of were.
Great
for a little
face. Still hot. But could have been in the Backstreet Boys.
You can't dance like them or sing.
I don't know about that.
But yeah, had some looks, and had the music going. So for a while, it was just crazy. And I think honestly, you know, I feel grateful to have the ups and downs that bands have, because we've been through our shit, you know, and we're on the comeback now. And that, you know, it feels like we really earned it. And before, it just happened so fast. It happened way too fast.
Yeah, you do talk about often it's different when you don't earn it. Like, because it happened so fast for you. It was just kind of like, great, it was like album one, right?
Yep.
And you're playing at the Grammys, and you have everything at your fingertips. And so it's understandable that you wouldn't feel like you earned that. On the other hand, I'm like, I'm okay with that. I feel like I would be great. You know what I mean? Like, song number one, podcast number one, takes off to the charts. I'll be appreciative.
Yeah, you know, you think.
I know that's true until you're in that situation to see like really what comes out. But so now you said you guys are like restarting. What's going on now with the band?
Well, in the very beginning, we signed a bunch of contracts that we didn't know what they meant. You know, I love what I do for a living, but the industry has a perverse way of taking advantage of young artists that don't know what they're doing. You know, all these years later, we've now finally finished off or broken the contracts that were holding us back. And those sort of situations also put an intense amount of strain on the interpersonal relationships of the band. There's a lot of infighting, you know, a lot of frustration, a lot of pointing fingers. You know, it was chaos. And I felt like the band was going to break all the time. It was just riding the edge of a knife every single day, which was a lot of stress. And then that would transfer into my relationships with the guys, and they're feeling the same way, and that comes back on me. So it's just this really difficult spiral all the time. So now that we've broken free of those, we've got some really great people on our team now that really care, that really have their heads screwed on straight, have their hearts in the right place. We got that because we're older now and we know what we want. I still love the music we make. The guys still love the music we make. And I just feel like we're positioned now to get back out there and do it all over again. But this time, know who we are, know what we want. When someone comes around that is pushing us into something we don't want to do, I know how to say no. And I have more confidence and, I guess just more confidence in myself and knowing what I want, what I don't want to do, being not afraid to say no. And so I don't know what is coming, but I'm just happier with myself overall, and happier with the band too, and the deals that we have, and not being able to like make the things that we want the way that we want to do them. You know, being signed to a major label can really feel like you're in a machine, you know, and at the same time, it can also feel like you're chained. And if they don't want to move, you don't.
Well, it's also like you're surrounded by these people who you feel like know a lot more than you.
Right. And that's puts you in an adverse situation. It's very one-sided. So we got pushed into doing a lot of things we didn't want to do because we felt insecure about our knowledge and what we wanted. And they seemed so confident, you know, they've worked with this person, they've worked with this person, they could name drop all day. They were hyper successful people. So the common thread was like, we should just listen to them. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Which also dictates like, I don't know what I'm doing, so I can't make my own decisions. So you don't, and you just end up doing what everybody else wants you to do.
Yet you made your own decisions and own music and own vibe to get you to that spot already.
Right. And then somehow those situations erode your own confidence in yourself.
It's so interesting. The entertainment industry will take you for a ride. On one of the other episodes, I talked about how you have to climb up through the butthole of the industry.
Yeah, that's my favorite way to put it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Famously spoken by Ryan Meyer. And I said, you know what? I don't want to be climbing through any buttholes.
You kind of have to.
Yeah, well, I don't. So that's why I'm not doing it. And y'all had to go through the butthole. And now I feel like you're kind of coming out.
Yeah, it's really gross.
It's such a crazy thing to say, but it's so true.
I think everybody gets it.
Yeah.
You know,
probably every industry has its own butthole. If you think
I think
about
so.
it.
I think if you want to exist in a job or career that won't really do you any harm, you need to do something that's not sexy.
Yes.
Go be an electrical engineer, or like, I don't know,
an accountant.
Sure. Just something that people need but don't want to do. You'll make plenty of money. You'll have job security. It won't be as competitive as
stable.
You
know what your days are going to look like.
The people around you are probably more put together.
Don't you sometimes romanticize that? Like, yeah, that 9 to 5.
Yeah.
I'm going to clock in and clock out.
I couldn't do it.
Oh God, I romanticize it sometimes. I'm like, yes, I will go in at 8:45 and I will leave at 5 p.m. And you will not talk to me when I leave at 5 p.m. And guess what? I know exactly how much I'm going to make, what my day is going to be like. It's just like you romanticize it. Obviously, I would do it for probably like a week and realize, never mind. This is a terrible idea. It's not for me.
Yeah, that's the thing is you do romanticize about it. I do too. I'm not calling you out. Like I do the same thing sometimes, especially in the lows. You know, like, man, it'd be just so great to clock out.
Yeah.
You know, but then when you get the wins, you're so grateful that you're not just doing it for somebody else. Like there's this joke, I'm going to butcher it because I'm not good at jokes, but basically like this owner pulls up in a Lamborghini and the employee goes, oh man, like, how do I get one of those or something like that? And the employer goes, you know, if you show up every single day and you work really, really hard, in a few years, I'll be able to buy another one.
Oh my God.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like you're going to be, basically you're working for them. You're going to help them get to where they want to be.
Yeah. And hopefully they take care of you. You know, it's a good boss.
Yeah.
You know, we try really hard to take care of our people.
Yes.
And make sure that they have everything that they need. They can come and go as they need. We want to support people and help them get to where they want to go so they can always come back. And, you know, I think a lot of people, you know, they can be kind of like own the people that work for them. But because I think we've all worked for other people, we've all had shit bosses. You just don't want to do that.
Yeah. You know, the other side.
Yeah. And it comes back around. I mean, it's just karma.
So I know when I first started dating you, being in the music industry and being on tour all constantly, you know, people are like, well, what is it like dating a musician? And like, isn't it hard? And yeah, it's different because you don't have that 9 to 5 stability coming home at all of these, very specific times that can make life easier. And to me, it never seemed hard. And I give credit to you for that because of all of the work that you've done on yourself. Like if I would have met Ryan in his 20s who was in New York,
you would have hated me.
We wouldn't have gotten along. Maybe we would have had like a fun night.
We definitely would have hooked up.
Maybe. Probably.
I would have tried.
You would have given it a try.
Yeah,
I would have fallen for it probably. So yeah, we would have hooked up, but like probably never spoken again and be like, well, that was crazy. But I think you have been through this crazy experience as a musician, but you also really believe in taking care of yourself emotionally and mentally. And one way that you do that, and you've been very outspoken about this, is therapy. Can you tell me like what sparked you going to therapy? Because there's some men who are like, I don't need to talk about my feelings. I can figure it out.
Rock bottom. I think in order to make self-improvements, you got to really want it. You have to be so sick of, feeling the way that you're feeling and wanting to get better. Your want to get better has to override your fear of change. Like it has to counterbalance that. And for me, it was rock bottom. I was so sick of being plagued with anxiety. I was in a bad relationship. I was living in LA, which took all of my money to live there. It was insane. I was making the most money I'd ever made in my life and was broke every day. Was in a terrible relationship that I thought that I should be in.
Does it like look good?
Because it looked good. Yeah. She was a big model and, I was a rock star and I was driving an old Camaro around LA and going to clubs and like, buying expensive jackets and doing what I thought the rock star thing would be. And, I got to the end of my ego and there was nothing there. I did all the things that I wanted to do or that I thought I needed to do. And then I felt hollow inside and it led me to seek help because I realized I couldn't do it on my own anymore. And that just set me on a journey for a number of years where I saw different therapists for a while and tried different things and had a lot of different kinds of conversations and read some interesting books. And, it's not an overnight process, but I think, learning to take accountability for your actions instead of brushing it off because that's easier. That's the real good, the good. It's also the hard.
Yeah.
It's like, I am annoying. Okay. How do I change that? Or it's, I'm having the same problem with all these people. Maybe I'm the constant here. Maybe there's something about me that I need to change. And at first it feels like everything you do is wrong because there's so many things that you need to fix, especially if you're, at rock bottom. You have made the choices that have led you to where you are. And so you have to unfuck yourself. Mm-hmm. And that's really hard. It takes a while. But like anything, you don't eat cake in one bite and just one at a time. And you do whatever you can every day. And
I think you made like a really good point. It's like you saw multiple therapists because some people like go to therapy for 5 minutes and they're like, I didn't like my therapist. I'm never going back again. Therapy is like dating.
It really is.
You got to go on a few therapy dates to see like who you vibe with and who you feel comfortable with, because I'm not going to divulge all of my past stuff to somebody who thinks that's too controversial, too taboo, or who's very conservative.
Yeah. Just like people, every therapist has their own personality and style, or things that they're interested in and ways that they like to frame things. And you got to find one that works with you. I've had straight down the line medical therapists that explain things in a very scientific way. And that was cool. Mm-hmm. Also I've went to a guy who was very spiritual and studied Buddhism and multiple religions around the world, and he has very like Zen palace type little little room that we would sit in. That guy helped me a lot. But eventually I just kind of realized that he wasn't helping me anymore. And I've moved on to different things.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is that one therapist can help you through a season of your life, and then you might need to move on to another one for a different season.
Yeah. You read a book, you learn a lot from it, but then the book's done.
Right.
You got to keep going. But in the end, it's like, I think you find sort of like an addiction to self-improvement because you love the gains that you get and you love the feeling of being better and becoming a better person. And I think that mindset is the hardest thing to achieve. And then once you get there, it's kind of easy. It's like showing up to the gym for the first couple of weeks is going to be really hard. And then before you know it, when you don't do it, you feel like shit.
Yeah. There is, I used to remember when I was like getting really big into self-help and like self-development, I always talk about once you walk through that door, you can't walk back out of it because it can be really hard when you walk through it because you feel like you're the person that fucked everything up and you're hard to love and you're not good enough because you're bringing up all of your insecurities and your traumas and things to the surface, and that can be hard.
That's why people don't do it.
That's why, yes, exactly.
It's so much harder to face your own shit than it is to just move forward, blame everyone else.
It is, but it's also like if we can realize that if we just go face our own shit for a little while, you're going to feel free for the rest of your life instead of feeling stuck or imprisoned by this bullshit that you keep playing over in your head or blaming everybody else for the rest of your life. Yeah. Like a little bit of pain is going to make you feel free if you could just do that.
Yeah.
But I get it. It's hard, but everyone's strong enough to like put one foot in front of the other and figure it out. And I do honestly, like, there is that quote that's like, at a certain point, you are choosing your pain and your traumas. Like, I understand that all of us have had a really hard time in our past. And like some have had a absolutely traumatic time. And I don't even know what that's like. But everyone can still choose to work on themselves to be a better person, regardless of what your past is like.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's a will, there's a way. What was that documentary we were watching the other day about that Navy SEAL that went down to Mexico and took that drug?
Yeah. Oh, man. Amber and Marcus Capone. Waves and war, waves and war.
What was the drug he took?
He took a psychedelic called Ibogaine.
And you've taken that before?
I've taken, Iboga. And I didn't do it in the medical sense. I got overdosed by a fake shaman. So that was really fun. That was in my days when psychedelics were aplenty and you can only do thing in ceremonial places when really like you're just taking too many drugs and you should not. Yeah. But there is like, when it comes to Ibogaine, like they are using that psychedelic medicine to treat like horrendous PTSD, anxiety, and depression.
That's my point. Like this Navy SEAL, I mean, we can't even, as civilians, we can't even imagine what a Navy SEAL does.
Can't imagine.
I mean, how many people they've killed and how many horrific situations they've lived through. And this guy was, drinking himself to the bottom of the bottle, putting a gun to his head. His family was falling apart, and he went and took this drug, and it helped him. So, if you're just living your life thinking that there's no help for you, you just haven't found the right solution. You just haven't wanted it enough.
Yeah, just keep trying.
There's a solution for everyone. I mean, maybe it's just psychedelics. I mean, I just did them yesterday. It was great.
It does help.
It really helped. Yeah, it helped a lot.
But there is a place where you do too many psychedelics, okay? Moderation is key here. I didn't have that for a long time. Now I'm on the moderation train, and I am liking it. So let's move on a little bit and talk about the best day of your life, which was meeting me.
Absolutely.
We randomly met each other at a pool, which was great. And you weren't in a place I'll let you tell the story, but I was just going to have a little day with the girls at the pool. And then I walked in and I was like, whoa, that guy's hot. He has platinum blonde hair. He's covered in tattoos. Seems like a bad idea. Probably should sign up for it.
Yeah. Totally.
Signed up for it.
Signed up for it.
Signed on that line.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, that happened fast.
Yeah. Kind of. I guess it did.
Yeah, I'm fine with it though.
Yeah. But so my understanding is that you went to the pool just so you could solely speak to women.
Okay, well, when you put it like that.
Well, tell your side of the story, honey.
Okay, I was heartbroken. I just gotten out of a relationship. And you know, she's a great person. We weren't the right match. And, but we were together for almost 2 years and we lived together. And, you know, so when we split, it kind of like turned me upside down for a little while. And after a few months of sulking, licking my wounds, I called up my buddy Sam and I said, "Hey man, let's beautiful day out. I'm just sitting here by myself. Like, let's just go to the pool." And, you know, he was with someone at the time, but I was like, you know, we just be my wingman. I just want to go talk to people. I want to go talk to women. I don't want to flirt. I don't want to like hit on anybody. I'm not trying to like,
yeah, right.
I'm not trying to like link up. I don't even think I could at that point. I was just so beaten up. I just needed to like take one step. You know, I had already been doing a lot of like work on myself and I knew just take one step at a time will get me there eventually. So, so we went to the pool and we showed up and, yeah, I immediately saw you with your pink haircut and your,
anyway, cool short hair that I'm growing out now.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be so cool.
Yeah. You used to be. You used to do drugs. Now you don't do anything.
I used to do drugs. Now I don't do anything. I used to have fun. Now I don't go anywhere.
Well,
anyways, go ahead.
So, yeah. So I saw you and thought, damn, who the fuck is that? And then it was really easy, actually, because you walked past me and we had a moment where we both looked at each other and you gave me this big shit-eating smile. And I immediately just felt this really welcoming, warm, like easy energy from you. And I didn't feel nervous to talk to you. So then I went over and sat by the pool and you were swimming in the water next to me and we just chit-chatted for a while. And then I think after a couple hours, the girls wanted to leave or we wanted to leave or something like that. And yeah, I just got your number and we just stayed in touch for a little while.
Yeah.
I think.
You were going on tour with Muse, I think the following day.
Yeah.
Or something.
It was around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
So I was pretty focused on that.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking, I'm not ready for this, or I'm not really ready for anything, but I know this one's a keeper. So let me just like maintain a good relationship with this person. Then that was as far as I went with it. And then, you know, one thing led to another. And next thing you know, we're drinking wine and dancing in the living room. And here we are. Married and pregnant.
Married and pregnant. I mean, you really just don't know what's going to happen from day to day.
No, but if I hadn't gone one foot in front of the other, I would have never met you. We would never be here.
Right. But I listen to him when he talks to his friends on FaceTime. And I feel like you give some of the best dating advice for men because it's not something that you normally hear. And people in today's world have the hardest time dating from what I hear. I think I just got really lucky. It was the right person, right time. I knew that this relationship was supposed to be something significant, like right off of the bat. I already talked about this, but you freaked me out. So I worked on myself. You worked on yourself. And I think that's why we were able to really meet each other. Mm-hmm. And I think that's important for everyone to do so. But when you talk to your friends, what is some of the advice that you give them to find like a real relationship?
You know, I'm going to be honest, you had prepped me for this question. But now I realize that there's so many different situations that it's hard for me to kind of generalize. But I think there's one in particular that you really like. So I'll just say that. Am I right?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly just am always very impressed by what you say to these people in general.
Yeah.
But yeah,
All right. Well,
hit them with your theory.
okay. So if you're a young, attractive, single male, you've got a lot of options. And it's really easy to fall into a rhythm of taking those options as often as you can. You know, men want to fertilize. It's what we're built to do. If you take all the options that you can and you don't really think about it too much, you have sex with multiple women and you have this chemical bond with each person that you make with. And that's designed to keep you together. It's designed to make you love each other so that, you know, for the millions of years that humans have been walking on this planet, you stay together, you procreate, you stay together, and you take care of your baby and you grow more humans. That's how humans have sustained themselves for, you know, all this time. So when you go have sex with lots of different women, you're creating this chemical bond over and then breaking it over and over and over and over again. And you don't realize it at first, but eventually it kind of drives you nuts. You know, I think having somebody that you really care about, it takes commitment. It takes a leap of faith to just stick with the one person for a little while and give it a shot. Because there might be something that throws you, that makes you go, you know, out the door and onto the next one.
Yeah, the grass might be greener.
Yeah, but that one thing that throws you, as long as it's not toxic, it might be the thing that you learn to love about that person if you give them enough time. You know, like you don't like their teeth or you don't like the way they dress, like whatever it is. That thing could now, like when you fall in love with that person, it might be your favorite thing and you would actually have thrown it away because you just were going off of your instincts and not actually really thinking about it. One of the things that really changed my life was, honest to God, I was watching this nature show. I think it's called Dancing with Birds. Mm-hmm. I think it's a Netflix show. I'm not sure. Anyways, it's like all the birds of paradise, and they all have this, all the males have this beautiful plumage. The females are actually very kind of modest, usually like brown, you know, they don't really
we don't have any colors.
They don't need it because they're the ones doing the judging. The males have all the colors because they have to impress the females. The females, they pick and choose whoever they want. They don't need to impress anybody. But so I'm watching this show, and all these different birds have their own way of doing it. But the basic thing that I saw over and over again was this pattern where these birds were creating a nest. And then they would preen themselves, and they would like, you know, do like their own version of bird push-ups, whatever they could do to like make themselves the most eligible bachelor they could. And then a female would come over and they would do the best they could to impress that female. And that's where I realized that I had to build a nest. I had to do a little dance. I had to put on some plumage if I wanted to find somebody that I could grow old with. Because if I don't do that, if I'm just middle of the road, then I'm going to find someone who's also middle of the road and I'm the best they can get. So if I put the best effort I could into myself, into my home, so when I invite this person over to my home, they see that I have a nice, clean home, a stable home, a place where they could nest. I'm put together. They can trust me. I'm stable. I've got my shit together. Then now it's almost like I've got the pick of the litter, you know? And not just when it comes to looks, but when it comes to how well they're put together. Because if you work really hard to put your life together, you have a different sense of value on your own life. And when you meet somebody who's also done the same, they also have their own sense of value. And it's higher than those who don't work hard on themselves. So they appreciate what you've done and you appreciate what they've done.
Yeah. And you can like meet in the middle of that.
Well, it's just easy. Like
Yeah.
you and I, you know, I've like that podcast you mentioned was the one and only time we ever had any disagreement. And I don't even remember what the hell happened. I wouldn't even call it an argument.
No, it wasn't an argument. I was just frustrated. I was like, why are you not doing this right?
But my point is that our relationship has been so easy that it has fast tracked into this, like, you know, full on adulthood, married and pregnant, like so easily and so quickly, because we both were just doing the work on ourselves. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't pushing you to be better. You were doing it to yourself on your own.
And you hit the jackpot. Let's be very clear. Okay? Because Whitney is that girl.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
Put a finger on it.
I put a finger on her.
You put a seed in her. That's what you put in her.
Yeah, I did. That's for sure.
The finger,
I locked it up.
They procreated.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there is a weird thing. Like when she first got pregnant, I had this weird thought that was like growing in my head that like, man, like God forbid something happens to me right now, but like at least I feel like my genes have been passed on. It's a strange like feeling of success.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think one of the reasons why I chose you is because I thought immediately that you would be a great mother. Mm-hmm. It was one of the first thoughts that I had when I first got to know you. And, you know, I still feel that way. So God forbid something ever happens to me. You know, I'm not going to do anything to push that.
Better not.
But if it does, I'm like, well, you'll do what has to be done. You'll take care of the kid. And something crazy about like, you're knowing that your DNA will continue on without you gives you like a sense of like immortality, which goes deeper into like our, you know, fear of death and, you know, our mortality and stuff, and kind of like qualms all that.
Well, when I met you, I was very like on and off on kids. You know, yeah. I wanted to be like the independent gal that was just like running shit. And I was also with people who I don't think family wasn't their priority. And so it just didn't feel like I was in the right relationships for babies. I wanted to do my own thing anyway. And it just kind of seemed like it was not in the cards for me. And then I met you and was like, wow, what you said, like about me, you're going to be a great mom. I met you and I was like, he's going to be an amazing father. And it's not, I just never felt that way in my life to where I could see myself raising kids with somebody. So it really started to flip how I felt about family and how I felt about kids. And we have like a 2-year-old that lives next to us that I get to spend time with. And so I started being around kids because I just was never very maternal and I didn't hang out with kids growing up. I never babysat. I think I've probably held one baby in my entire life for a total of 4 minutes tops, you know? So now that I'm pregnant, we didn't really like segue into this, but like now that I'm pregnant, I can't imagine ever feeling that way. And it's just such a cool place to be in, of being like, oh, wow, no, this is like actually what I'm supposed to be doing. And this is the man that I'm supposed to be doing it with. And it's been just such a cool experience to do that alongside with you, because I think, and I want to hear your side of this too, but for me, pregnancy has really encouraged me. It's given me a kick in the ass to, one, do the things that I need to do, like this podcast, but also to set up our family and hold my weight and I just be like a better human and make my baby proud, you know? Yeah, baby. How has becoming a father changed you?
Oh, well, I don't totally feel like a father yet, but I feel it's starting to affect me. In similar ways to what you're saying. I'm just getting after the things that I know I need to do, or that I feel I need to do. Getting more serious about boxing and Muay Thai and working out, making sure that I'm the protector as well as the provider. You know, God forbid they get past me and they got to deal with you, honey. But you know, they shouldn't have to deal with you.
No, they shouldn't.
But so like that's been pretty instantaneous since you got pregnant. And I feel like that's pretty normal. I was watching Travis Barker in an interview, and he said the same thing. He found out his wife was pregnant, and he went down the street and started boxing, and he's been doing it ever since. It's like this, something clicks chemically in your body, and you just love this thing that's not even a thing yet.
Yeah.
And if anyone fucking touches it, I'm gonna kill him.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild.
That's
It's
right.
a wild feeling.
Yeah, and I feel like because it's normal for men to be, from what I'm hearing, like from you, from friends and everything like that, I'm hearing that it's very normal for men to be a little bit disconnected from the baby because it's literally inside of me. It's like taking my energy. It's making me eat an ungodly amount of food. After today, I can no longer wear these jeans. So everything that I do is dictated by this thing that is growing inside of me, from how I wash my face to how I sleep to how I work out to what I eat. And you did your job clearly very well. And now you're just letting mama like handle the rest of it. And then I hear like it starts to really click for the dad once the baby comes into the world.
Yeah. We all have our purpose. We all have the things that we're supposed to do. And for a little while, the dads are like, kind of feel a little useless because you're doing literally everything. And then eventually all I'm doing is just supporting you. And then eventually when I'm not just supporting you anymore, when you've recovered, this is what I've learned from other dads. You settle in to life as a parent. And that's when I think it really starts to connect.
Oh, do you want to announce what we're having? Because we haven't.
Sure. Go ahead.
3 on 3.
We're having
A boy.
A boy. Yay. I'm very excited.
Yeah, me too.
I know. I feel like you were stoked.
Yeah, it's going to be my dude.
Yeah.
It's going to be my little dude.
One thing that I for people who are pregnant and in this like season is, yes, there are changes, like I'm usually a very hyperactive and energetic person and I'm not. And so there are like ways that you have to like shift your relationship and you have to get used to the new normal. And one thing that has really helped me with Ryan is that you're very supportive of that, but also like you make me feel pretty, even though my body's changing in ways that I'm not used to. Because I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, oh God, like things are changing. Yeah. And it's hard to feel sexy. But like you said, we all have our roles that we play so perfectly that we were designed to play. And men celebrating that in women is so huge. And so like, if there's any men out there listening to this and your wife is pregnant, like realize how badass she is inherently because she's growing your baby, and find that beautiful because it is. And let her know. You got to be explicit. We want to hear it.
You got to communicate.
And I mean like communicate it. And you do a good job of that. So
thanks. Well, you also communicated really well, telling me that like how you respond to things and what you need. So all I'm doing is just responding to you communicating well.
Well, yeah. I learned that you really do have to ask for what you want. We want everyone to be mind readers.
They're not.
Unfortunately, we'd love to walk in there and you're like, bling, blong, bling, all of these things I knew you were thinking about as you were driving home. Here's your massage and flowers. And
I read your mind. I know exactly what you want to eat.
Exactly.
I know how your day went.
You just have to own it. You have to own what you want and ask for what you want.
And your partner should just respond to that.
Exactly.
But you also should be asking your partner what they want and what they need.
So how do you, because we have to close this out, even though I can just keep talking and talking, but you're going to have a baby boy in August and you guys are going on tour. How do you feel about that?
It's crazy. I'm going to have to hire a drummer to fill in for me for a lot of the touring that we're going to have coming up. For the first time, I got to hand my baby off to somebody else. And it's a really weird feeling. I've been grappling with it for a little while, but I know that we'll find the right guy that, you know, gels with everybody and they can, you know, serve the band the way that I do. It's just hard mentally because that's my job. That's what I've done for 20 years. But eventually, don't worry, babe. We'll have a family bus. Mm-hmm. And you just come with me.
Yeah, that's the plan. Mm-hmm. Also, y'all, I get to hear demos before anyone else does. And they're good.
They're good.
They're really good.
Yeah.
I'm not just blowing smoke. They're really good.
Yeah,
and you guys have been on a journey trying to get to this point. And so I'm stoked for everyone to, you know, come along on this journey with y'all and this adventure and know that, I mean, you're doing it.
Mm-hmm. Here we are.
And so just so everyone knows, y'all have a tour in May.
It's
potential.
Yeah. Not yet.
Why don't you just go to highlysuspect.com and look up their tour dates?
.net.
.net. That is highlysuspect.net. And look up their tour dates and maybe I'll be there fat and pregnant.
You probably will be.
I would love to be. I want to be pregnant side stage being like, look at your dad shaking my belly, my big old boobs. Love my boobs.
I love your boobs too.
Thank you. Outside of my boobs, where can people find you?
Ryan Meyer on Instagram. I'm pretty much a one-trick pony. I don't really go on Facebook. I don't go on TikTok. Yeah, you can find me on Ryan Meyer on Instagram, and that's pretty much it. You can follow my band also on Instagram, Highly Suspect. We got a YouTube page. We got a Facebook page. We got a website, highlysuspect.net.
I mean, you guys are doing it all.
We're doing it. We're doing it big. You can find us pretty much anywhere the internet can take you.
Yes. Well, thanks for coming to chit chat with me outside of our house.
Thanks for having me.
Everyone in on our secrets. We didn't really get in too deep, but
maybe later.
Yeah, that'd be good. We'll do more episodes and just keep weaseling our way into Ryan's brain because he doesn't put this stuff out there. He's very private. He likes to keep it in his head and only with me and his like closest friends. And I tell everything to everybody. And so we're going to bring a little bit more of that out.
You can be the conduit.
Okay, great. We got a deal.
All right.
See you next time, big boy.
All right.